beginning level class, and just in the segments when we started student-led teaching. So segment and segment and segment and segment, which those of you who already did the training, we didn't do, but now the feedback was that it might be helpful. So now you can kind of see what you think. Hopefully not. We'll see. This is Nancy. That's okay. Nancy C. And she's working with me. We're going to work together. I'm going to take 6 minutes. She'll take 6 minutes. I'll take 6 minutes. She'll take 6 minutes. And you can record it, video, notes, whatever you want to do as far as the goal here is for us, hopefully we'll succeed at this goal. I don't know. Just kind of go with it. That we will try to help with how to teach efficiently with your words, with your cueing, and kind of give the most bang for the buck, I guess, that we can try to do. And the reason this is also really important is for yourself, and I encourage you to do this yourself, whether you're already teaching or not, or just starting the training, wherever you are with it, is to put a timer on yourself as well to get that timing down, because timing is important wherever you are, just to be able to get the feel. Now, I'm going to have Nancy be my student. Because the thing that's hard with doing a demo is you do need to teach to someone. So teaching, because you're just observing, so I'm going to be, oh, is that you?
I'm all set.
She's all set.
Fine.
She's good.
That's okay.
Woo-hoo.
I didn't know if you were going to set that up on, okay.
All right, and then we'll take a few minutes after if we need to ask any questions, and we'll take it from there, okay? You guys all comfy?
Do you want a strap, teacher?
Okay.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
I remember.
Is it going to be up there?
It's going to be both. So Anita is going to do a.
Oh, are you going to video? Okay, if you're going to video, do you want me to stand in one place?
I just want. I want to stay.
You can just go like. So Anita's going to. Whoever's on the teaching mat is going to give you an example of what you would do as a teacher, and what you will do when you're doing your teaching segments that come up very soon in our training program. I'm here as a student because, as she said, when you're teaching to nobody, it's really hard to imagine what they're doing and how your cues are landing. So for your purpose to watch your flies on the wall, to kind of see what Anita and I are looking for. And
to help you with how to cue to a beginner level.
Absolutely.
Okay. And we do have different styles of teaching, which is also kind of nice for you to see different styles of teaching. I tend to not demonstrate as much, and that's just what I do. I'm going to try though to do more. Oh wait, we need a timer. But actually, I might not try not to. I think just doing it the way we do, and then you can kind of take it from there as to how what works for you, what doesn't. Okay? All right, you guys all ready? Mm-hmm. So if anyone wants to record, you certainly can. I'm going to put a 6-minute timer on. And see how we do. Okay? Hi, my name's Anita. Welcome to beginning level yoga. This class is designed for brand new beginners, but if you've been practicing yoga for a while, my students, I'm talking to everybody else.
Good. Sounds good.
If you've been practicing for a while, you still can work it to your own level. So whether you just first time on the mat or you've been doing yoga for a while, this is a practice that you can take to your own level. Okay? So yoga is about yoking our mind, our body, and our soul, or our essence, That's what yoga really means. And the way we do that is we start to get in touch with our breath and how we breathe. That's the key. It's the element that's really important, is how we breathe and if we're breathing correctly. And that's the yoking, which is what yoga means. So we're going to start with coming onto our backs. So let's come onto your back and bend your knees, put your feet on the mat, and close your eyes. So we'll take one hand on your stomach and one hand on your chest. And close your eyes and start to feel your breathing. You want to breathe into the hand that's on your stomach as if it's rising up, and exhale, empty out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now when we breathe like this, we're breathing into the diaphragm, which means the breath is the most efficient, and it actually starts to energize the whole body, and it brings you into the present moment. And the hand that's on your chest should be pretty quiet. So feel your breath right now. Always remember, come back to this breathing, not just in yoga, but all the time. The more we can keep coming back to our breath and watching our breath and breathing diaphragmatically, the better we'll feel. Our body will feel, we'll have more energy, and we'll be more mindful. Now, once you feel you've got that, put your hands down by your side. We'll start with bringing movement in. So we'll do a little pelvic tilting here, which just means we're loosening up the lower back. And we're going to link our breathing with our movement. So inhale, arch your lower back up. Exhale, flatten your back. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, flatten. So feel that with your own breath. Inhaling, exhaling. This starts to bring some suppleness into the spine, loosening up the muscles around the spine. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice. Now find neutral with your back and hug your right knee in towards your chest. We'll take that strap that I've given you.
Thank you.
And put it right around the ball of your right foot. And take your right leg up toward the ceiling. Now here we're going to start with stretching into the back of the leg, the hamstring muscles. And we want to start to get in touch with feeling stretch and find our edge where we're not pushing too hard and we're not too lax with it. When we stretch our hamstrings, we start to bring some suppleness into the legs because we hold a lot of tension here in the legs. Also helps release tension in the lower back. But don't go too far to where you hurt. Just go to where you feel a good stretch. Take a breath in, take a breath out. Feel. Yes, one more breath. Don't put tension anywhere else in the body. It's just working with our legs. Nice. Now bend that right knee. Put your right foot on the mat. Let's take the left leg up. All the way up. Feel. Find that edge where you feel a nice stretch in the back of your leg, but not pulling, no shaking. Maybe a little shaking is okay, but not too much. Just feel good stretch. You want to be able to smile. Take a deep breath. Nice. One more. Good work. And then we'll release that. Hug both knees in towards your chest. Rock a little side to side. Sweep the arms out to the side and take your knees to the right, gently coming into a reclining twist. Here again, we're working with suppleness in our spine. We don't want to pull or strain. Just let yourself feel a nice stretch in the lower back. Take a deep breath. Don't worry if your left shoulder lifts, let it be. Just let go. Take another deep breath. Good work. Now, knees back up. Let's take them all the way over to the left. Again, relax the right shoulder. Don't worry if it lifts. Don't try to force anything. Just breathe into where you feel the stretch. Nice. See if you can come back to that diaphragmatic breath. Feel it, even when we start to move. Knees back up, we'll hug both knees back in. And we're going to work our way up to seated now. So push to your side, gently find your way all the way up to seated. And you can even take your blanket and sit on your blanket and find your breath. Do you want me to put a mat on top of your mat?
Okay.
Okay.
You?
No.
Okay. So how am I going to find your timer?
Here, just hit, yeah, one more time, hit it. There.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to our beginner level yoga class. We're going to start seated today on our folded blanket with our sitting bones right on the edge of the blanket. The sitting bones are the bony points of the pelvis. That helps tip the pelvis forward a little bit, gives us a nice length and opening in the front of the chest. We'll have our legs crossed, and let's place the right hand on the belly. I'm mirroring you. We'll take an inhale breath through the nose. Feel how the hand moves with the breath. And as you exhale, feel how the hand releases back towards the center of the body. Let's do that again with our eyes closed. Inhaling, feeling the hand move. Exhaling, feeling it settle back into the center of the body. Now still breathing, put the left hand on the chest. Notice how the left hand barely moves. That's what we want. That's called diaphragmatic breathing. That means that the diaphragm muscle, which is between the lungs and the abdominal organs, is working very efficiently together with other muscles of breathing. Take another breath here. Exhale and release the hands to your lap, centering yourself right here with one more nice inhale and exhale. Now open your eyes, extend your arms out in front of you long, reaching through the fingers as you inhale. Exhale, curl the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, lifting them up to the ceiling. We're going to do these exercises 3 times, inhaling, stretching forward, and exhaling, curling back. These are wonderful warm-ups for the whole body, for the shoulders. They open the shoulders and the joints of all the arms and the muscles. Good. And now leave the hands on the shoulders. Open the elbows out to the side. We'll take an inhale here. As we exhale, we'll bring the elbows together. Inhale, open again. Feel how the shoulder blades slide together as you inhale. As you exhale, they spread across the back. Good. Inhale again. And exhale. Our next inhale, we'll open our arms into cactus. Beautiful. Exhale. Bring the fingertips down. Yes. Inhale. Rotating through the shoulders. Exhale, stretching through the arms. These movements are so wonderful to bring blood and lymphatic through the body to help keep us healthy. Good, and release the hands just to the lap. Let's switch our legs. I like to switch about halfway through my practice. Now we'll work with the head and the neck. Inhaling, lifting the nose gently up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, tucking the chin into the chest. And again, 2 more times each breath. We're feeling a beautiful stretch through the front and the back of the neck as we alternate. Sometimes we have so much tension in our neck and our shoulders, and we just don't even realize because we've gotten so used to it. Inhale the head back to center here after this last breath. Now we'll exhale and turn to look over the right shoulder. Inhale back to center, and exhale, turn to look over the left shoulder. And 2 more times each way. You'll notice that we take the inhale breath usually when we're in center, so we've got that nice long spine, long torso. We get the breath all the way into the body. And the exhale breath is usually to the side. We're twisting, squeezing the breath out of the body. Good, so let's just finish off this breath here. Exhaling over the left shoulder and coming back to center. Switching now to our hands and our knees. You can move your blanket off to the side. We'll still work with the breath. Let's start with a nice inhale breath, lifting the head and the chest forward. The tailbone comes up slightly. Exhale, tuck the chin into the chest, rounding through the spine. The tailbone releases towards the floor. Inhaling again, this inhale breath we call cow. Imagine a cow out in its field with its big belly.
Exhale, rounding as we're squeezing the breath out of the body. Think of the Halloween cat with the big arched spine. Take one more beautiful breath, lengthening through your body. Feel how the breath just floods into the chest as you do this. And exhale again, you're squeezing the breath out. Come back to center now, our nice neutral back. We're looking down at our hands, still working with the breath. Let's reach the right hand out to the side about shoulder height, and then exhale it back down. Nice. Inhale a little deeper. Yes, good. Exhale down. And one more time, as far as feels comfortable in your body. Exhale that hand right into position under your shoulder. Moving to the left side just to shoulder height to start. Exhale down, yes. And then you continue through the movements with the breath, feeling how you're opening up the body with each new inhale. Exhale down. Wonderful. From here, we'll just simply push the hips back to sit down on your heels. If this is uncomfortable, you can put a blanket across your legs, tucking it right up next to your knees, and stretch your arms forward and let your forehead rest on the mat. If this is uncomfortable to get your head all the way down, you could use a block under your forehead. This wonderful restorative pose is called Child's Pose. It's a pose you can take anytime during your practice to catch your breath or slow down a little bit. You can feel a beautiful arch in your back from the crown of the head all the way to the tailbone. Good. We'll slowly come back up. If you have a blanket on your legs, we'll move that, coming back to our hands and knees. This is sometimes also called table pose. We'd like to have our shoulders right over the hands, knees right underneath the hips. And let's curl the toes now. Oops. We'll come back to our child's pose.
All right. Uh-huh. Okay. Hi. Welcome to Beginning Level Yoga. My name is Anita. And today we're going to do some little flow called sun salutation. This is great for moving the whole body, strengthening and stretching the whole body. And we do this by linking our breathing with our movement. So I'm going to actually have you come to standing to the front of your mat. And first we'll start with just feeling into mountain pose. So we want to feel our feet nice and grounded and rooted, and spread your toes. Press your thighs back a little so you feel strong with your legs. Then lift the crown of your head tall toward the ceiling, like you're rolling your shoulders back a little there. So this is perfect posture. It grounds us in our bodies and feeling ourselves right here in the moment. And as we do our sequence, we're going to take 12 postures and link them one to the other to the other. And we're going to listen to our body and modify as we need to. So that means we're going to use a prop if you need to, adjust if you need to, and listen and honor your body. When we do this flow, we're linking breath with movement, and it stretches and strengthens all the major muscles in the body. So it's a really good warm-up, and you can build it and make it a workout. All right, so from mountain, feel your feet, lift the crown of your head toward the ceiling, close your eyes for a moment and take a breath. Nice. Now, open your eyes. Inhale your arms high toward the ceiling. Little baby back bend, so reach back. Beautiful. Now exhale, hinge at your hips and fold all the way down. Bend your knees as much as you need to touch your hands to the mat. Nice. Step your right foot back. Take your right knee down. Inhale your arms high toward the ceiling. This is a lunge, really good for the hip flexors. Exhale the hands down. Step back into push-up pose, plank pose. And you can feel yourself strong here like a plank. Yes. Lift the navel toward the spine. Feel strong. Push the earth away. This is a core stabilizer, really good for strengthening arms and shoulders and strengthening our core muscles. Take your knees down from here. Now we're going to lower all the way to our stomach, but what I want you to do is imagine you're holding tennis balls under your armpits. So you're not going to want to drop those tennis balls as you lower, and don't let your lower back collapse. Beautiful. Now from here, hands under the shoulders, lift your shoulder blades, lengthen your neck. Anchor the tops of your feet down onto the mat. This is called low cobra. This is great for strengthening the back side of the body. Take a deep breath, mindful that your neck is long. One more. Beautiful. Now exhale, lower, push onto your knees. And now lift your hips high toward the ceiling in like a V stretch. Call this downward facing dog pose. It's great for stretching and strengthening all the long muscles in the body. Arms strong, feel it. Stretch the legs, thighs press back. Take a deep breath. Nod your head, yes and no. Nice. Now we've got to get the right foot all the way up to your hands. So if you need to grab your foot and do it, or walk it up, do. Left knee comes down. Find your balance. Now we're going to lunge on the other side. So inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, arms all the way down. Nice. Bring that back foot all the way up to meet the front foot. Beautiful. Bend your knees. Put your hands on your hips. Lift your shoulders. Engage core, flat back, all the way up to standing. Reach your arms all the way overhead. Nice. Draw your hands right to your heart. Take a breath. Good work. Feel it. We're going to do the other side now. Inhale. Reach your arms high to the ceiling. Little baby back bend. Exhale. Hinge at your hips and fold all the way down to your fingertips touch the mat. Left foot this time. Step it back. Left knee comes down. Inhale your arms high to the ceiling. Stay here for a big breath. Feel. Good work. Feel the hip flexors getting a stretch. Nice. Arms come all the way back down. Step back to plank. Now we'll hold plank. Take a breath. Feel strong. Push the earth away. And now if you feel comfortable lowering straight down without taking your knees, you can. Otherwise, take your knees down again. Nice. Again, low cobra. Lengthen your neck. Anchor at your hips and your pelvis. Anchor at the top of your feet. Lengthen your neck and lift your chest a teeny bit higher. Don't use your hands though, just your back muscles. Good. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Turn your toes. Now let's see if we can push all the way back up into that down dog. Nice. Stay here for a couple breaths. Press back into your legs. Feel your arms lift and strong. Nice. Feel. This is a great strengthening. Some say this is even a mini yoga session in one posture. Good work. Now this time we've got to get the left foot all the way up to your hand. Good work. Drop your right knee down. Inhale your arms high toward the ceiling. Take an extra breath. Exhale, bring your arms all the way down. Bring your back foot up to meet the front foot. Bend your knees. Lift all the way up using your legs, not your back, and draw your hands right to your heart. Rest your arms by your side and feel the energy we just moved in the whole body. Nice. And then open your eyes. Good work. There. I'll let you hit start when you're ready.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to our yoga class for beginners. We're going to start with a block. Would you grab a block and put it between your feet? We'll work on tree pose today, and I always like to start centering in mountain to get us grounded. So it's a little wider for us today because we're accommodating the block, but just rock back and forth on your feet, side to side, find center, press your feet down, feel them rooting into the floor, grounded like a nice mountain. Our knees are a little soft. Hips, we're just going to rock back and forth a little bit, finding that center that we've talked about, so we're not rocking forward or back. Good, beautiful center here. Relax your arms by your side. Feel like you're lifting through your ribs and your shoulders. Relax the shoulders down on your back. Maybe we'll move the head a little on your neck to release any tension. And then find the focal point right in front of you, gazing softly at it to find your center. Take a breath here, just centering yourself in mountain.
Good. From here, hands to the heart. We'll press the hands together. Now in tree pose, we're going to stand on the left side first. So we'll imagine we're shifting all the weight to the left. Let's bring that right foot, the toe, right onto the block and press the heel into your left foot. Just the same way you pushed your feet down in mountain, you're pushing that right foot into the left leg. That's a nice way to help center you, bringing you right into center. So press through the foot, press through the hands. Feel how that helps you lift up in your body. This is your tree, and it's beautiful. You can stay right here, or if you like to deepen your pose, you might want to take your toes off and press them completely into the leg. Now moving your leg up is perfectly fine. We just don't want to push it into the knee. Looks like a handy spot, but because we're pushing into the leg, that could harm the joint. That's wonderful right there. Some people like to open the branches of the tree. Beautiful. Let's come back to center and then slowly step out and just shake that off for a minute. Now the beauty is we get to work on the other side. So we'll again find ourselves centered in mountain pose. Just taking that minute to get centered is always helpful for balance. Bring your hands to your heart, shifting your weight to your new standing leg, the right leg. Bend that left knee, put the toe on the block if you're using it, get yourself centered, and then take your version of mountain. Of tree. It may look exactly as the other side, or it might be a little different depending on how you're feeling on this side. Let's take another breath here, just really feeling and enjoying the pose. Really great balance. Good, and we'll slowly step back out. Wonderful. We'll move the prop and let's sit down on the mat. Does everybody have a blanket? What we're going to do is just put that folded blanket there on the mat. Sit with your sitting bones, those bony points of the pelvis, right on the edge of the blanket to help lift the spine and open up the chest. And we'll have our feet together, the soles of the feet together, the knees out to the sides. If your knees are up kind of high, or if it's uncomfortable, you can tuck the blocks underneath your legs to just give you a little support. Good. We'll take an inhale breath, lengthening through the spine. And as we exhale, we'll let the spine round forward over the legs. The hands can just rest lightly on the shins. And we're not pressing, we're just letting the weight of the head open up the legs, round through the spine. You should feel a gentle, healthy stretch in the spine. If you get any twinge or discomfort in the spine, then come up a little, don't go so deep. Good, lovely. Let's bring our knees back to center. Remove our props and we'll sit down on our bottom right on the mat and then roll down onto your back with your spine and your head on the mat. I'm going to come up so I can see you better, so you can hear me better. Good. And we'll work on bridge pose for a moment. Let's place your hands on the mat beside your hips. I'm going to give you one block to put between your thighs. You can kind of tuck that in there so it's comfy, but not on the knee. That will be uncomfortable. For our bridge pose, our feet and our shoulders are going to be the two sides of the bridge, and the block will just give us a little encouragement to squeeze those legs together. So let's take an inhale breath, squeeze through the block. As you exhale, press through your feet, lift your hips slowly up. Yes, that's beautiful. You can press lightly through your hands if you like. That's lovely how you're bringing your chest towards your chin. Your gaze is still up at the ceiling, so your neck is nice and long. Let's take another inhale breath here, and then slowly come down on the exhale, one vertebra at a time. When your tailbone reaches all the way down, you can take the block out and then hug your knees into your chest. Just releasing your back a little bit. We're going to do it a second time without the block. Go ahead and place your feet back on the mat, but you can still sense that block there. So that'll just help us remember that it's there, so we're energetically squeezing the legs together. But put your hands at your sides for support. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press through the feet, lifting the hips up into your bridge, coming up as far as feels good in your body. Can you feel that open and spacious area of the chest, how the breath moves right in, the hips are open and expanded. You feel the strength and support on the back of your body. Beautiful. Then we'll take another inhale to prepare and slowly come down on the exhale.
As the tailbone comes down, you can hug the knees into your chest.
Awesome. Yeah, we can stop the recording now. How do we do? All right. So, one of the things that I wanted to just kind of, and I know for some of you already teachers, we didn't do this for you guys, but you'll know, you start teaching. And once you start teaching, we do this almost like a round robin kind of teaching. And you've got those 6 minutes to get your teaching in. And so one of the reasons we put this demo together is because so many were feeling like there's so much to put into 6 minutes. It was like daunting. And so what we wanted you to see is how to start getting your cueing down without a lot of extra. Hopefully that came across without too much extra, and just enough so you give your students enough as to how to get into the posture and some of the benefits. And from there, it can build. You can keep building on that. So that was kind of why we wanted you to get a flavor for that and to see it, because come
Next
March.
week?
No, not next week.
Or next month.
Next month.
Right.
Don't set them into a panic yet. All right, so any questions on the demo and doing that and just having like a flavor for how to teach? One of the reasons that, another reason that this came up is because my husband likes to jump into classes and give feedback, and I encourage, if you have a friend, someone that can jump in on your teaching and give you constructive help. It's nice because most of your friends, you're unless they're really good friends, are just going to go, oh, you're awesome, you're wonderful, it was perfect, and they're not going to really tell you sometimes what you need to hear, which is helpful. You say amazing too many times, or, or it's, whatever, So having that feedback from a friend or a spouse or someone that you can get really constructive feedback. But he gave us the class. He said it didn't feel as if there was teaching to beginners, and this is the hard part with the training here, is because you're teaching to other teachers right now, and they're not beginners. So if you can just say, oh, come on up into down dog, everybody's going to go, boom, they know what to do. So that's the reason we wanted to give you that, is to how to teach with your cueing to someone who maybe has never done yoga. Because from there, it's a cake ride, it's easy, right? Mm-hmm. Those of you who are teaching know, right? Yeah. So good job. Any questions on the demo? Feel okay with it?
Can I make one comment?
Mm-hmm.
Just, I'm a 1-year graduate.
Yeah.
But the comment that one of the best things that I've learned from you was, from forward fold and everybody comes up swan dive, and you have us bend our knees, thumbs to the hip crease, and come up slowly. And I've used that for everybody. And then even some of the people that take like a hot class or something, they're like, I get so hot, and I told them to come up slowly. That's like one of the best things that.
Yeah.
One of the many, but I mean, like, that was something I wouldn't have thought of, because I just automatically
Just
reverse the swan dive,
Right.
and it doesn't bother me, but it does a lot of people. So that was a really good.
And see, the cueing, the way you're helping your students get there is really important. How they're getting there and how they're coming out of the posture, so that they can start to feel into their body, because that brings that awareness of what we're doing as we're moving. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Any other comments? Yeah.
It's actually a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed that you were teaching, standing, teaching student, and you were actually demonstrating. Is there...
Well, one thing I should have kind of told you, right now I think I have a bit of a tear in my meniscus right here.
okay.
So I'm like kind of being a little, I've been having some pain in it. So I've been a little, what's the word? Cautious, tentative to do. So normally in a true beginner class, I would do a little bit more demonstrating than I did. But then I thought, well, I'm going to just let it ride because Nancy demonstrates, and then you can see cueing without demonstrating too. Because sometimes you need to. What if something happens? Like I had to have foot surgery, and that was years ago when I was still a pretty new, you have to learn how to cue. And that was the best teaching I ever did, was how to cue people without doing. I had to sit in a chair and teach. And it was like, so it's good to see both. That's why I let it ride, and I thought just to see both styles.
And if I could also piggyback on that, there are times when I think it is appropriate to demonstrate and when it's not. For instance, when my student is on her back, if I'm demonstrating, she's not going to be able to see me because she's on her back. Her head is up towards the ceiling. So for me to be demonstrating is not helpful, and I will not be able to see her. So for that, I did tell her I'm getting off my mat because I didn't want her to hop up off her mat. If she's following what I'm doing, she might want to do that.
Right.
So I told her, and then I got up so I can see her. And even when I was down in my child's pose, I was able to get up and look and see her, because if all I'm doing is demonstrating, I'm not watching my students' safety. I'm not seeing how well my cueing lands on them. So when you are demonstrating, you have to make sure that you're looking and watching. And you probably noticed when she was doing some of the head things, I was watching her. I took time out to look at her and move around if I needed.
Because that's important, so that what Nancy's saying is really important, so that you can get how your cueing is landing.
Is it okay, like, if it is truly a beginner, like, they really don't know what a bridge is, you just say,
Well,
this
then,
is
yeah,
it, and
you
then you
demonstrate,
stand up
and then you stand up. Yes, absolutely. You actually have to, and I've had sometimes where if I don't demonstrate enough, people, I've had people ask, now I know enough to go into, because especially if you see someone not doing it right, you say, stop, let's show, and that's going to be however you decide to style your class. Some people like to just do, show, and then have everybody do so they can watch. Sometimes it's just a blend, but it's true, not only on your back can you not see, but another is when you're doing any belly downs like the cobras. You can't teach when you're on your stomach. Your voice is gone. You've lost it because you're like on your stomach trying to do it yourself. So in that one, it's almost good to either get really squeaky clean with your cueing or demonstrate and then get up and continue teaching.
It can be tricky when sometimes I've been in a class where I've said, please just watch. I'm going to show you first, and then I'll cue you and we'll do it together.
Right.
And they watch me. Other times I've got 3 or 4 people who are thinking, oh, I'm just going to do it. So you kind of have to feel out your class. And like Anita says, you might start and they may not do what you tell them to do. So do your best. You got to be flexible. You're a yogi, you're flexible.
All right, everybody feel good with that? Kinda, not sure?
Any other questions?
It's funny because in the McHenry class, we started this midstream. So they had started teaching. Maybe 3 or 4 student-led teachings. And we decided to implement this midstream. And the questions were bombarding us with, like, oh, I didn't know it, so it was a really long conversation. And we just did this up at the class in Antioch, which is right at the same time as yours. You're right here, just getting ready to start the student-led teaching. And the same thing, not a lot of questions. And it's because Joni said, you don't know yet what the questions haven't arisen yet. Mm-hmm. So as we go, they'll come up, but what we wanted you to see the most important thing I wanted you to see is you don't have to try to jam everything into 6 minutes, because that is just too overwhelming. So, okay? All right. Good job. All right. So now we're going to do a little practice.